Hey y'all, it's Bear, and today I'm here to give you my mid-year book freakout tag. This is kind of a staple in the booktube community, and I feel like I don't really need to do much explanation. It's basically a mid-year check-in. Question number 1, what is the best book you've read so far? And I think no contest, it has to go to The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I talked about The City We Became in my last video, which was reading like a Gemini, and I'll leave that for you to go check out. I said a lot about it in there that I'm gonna briefly echo here. Great writing, great characters, funny, interesting villain. It was fantastic. I loved it so much. And this one follows a group of people who find themselves becoming the souls, the avatars of each of the New York boroughs to kind of protect the city against this woman in white who's trying to take over. And thank you so much to my friend Sage for sending me this book. I really appreciate it. Question number 2, what is the best sequel that you've read this year? I don't read a lot of sequels, but in anticipation for the Fear Street film that recently just released, I've been rereading a bunch of Fear Street books, and I read 4 of the cheerleader books. So the first one I gave like 3 stars. I thought it was fine. These, though, were all 4 or 5 stars. The sequels, I think, are infinitely better than the first one. I just found each one to be more and more compelling, and you kind of get drawn more into this evil that is possessing these cheerleaders at this high school. As it goes on, you learn more about the background of the evil and how it came to be and different ways to defeat it. And I just think that the cheerleader books are like peak Fear Street. Number 3, new release you haven't read but can't wait to get to. That is going to be The Witch King by H.E. Edgman. This one is, I believe, an urban fantasy novel with fairies and witches and trans anger, and I've heard it's very messy and very angry, and I can't wait to read it. The author is also seminal, and in an interview that H.E. Edgman did with my friend Audrey, I will leave a link for you to go check out, the two of them talked about trans rage and colonization and how themes of colonization play into the story and how the Fae interact with the human world. I thought it was a very interesting discussion. I cannot wait to read it. Thank you to Neil for sending this to me. I'm so excited to read it. Number 4, most anticipated release for the back half of the year. For me, this is The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. Y'all, I have been screaming about Jake in the Box, The Taking of Jake Livingston, since I found out about it. I'm just so excited for their book to come out. She's an author that I think you should really support, and I'll leave Twitter down below. Make sure you go follow them. He's just a fantastic person, and reading her insights on Twitter is just great. So definitely go check it out. But it's about a boy who goes to a prep school. He's a teen medium, and he basically starts getting haunted by the ghost of a school shooter. And it is our Spooky Bitches book club pick for July, so you can join us on Twitter at the end of the month to follow in on that discussion. Next, what is the biggest disappointment of the year? Final Girls by Riley Sager. This had some weird, uncomfortable Indian burial ground jokes in it that I didn't appreciate. Follows Quinn, who is the survivor of like a massacre, very stereotypical slasher movie, who ends up linking up with survivors of other massacres from stereotypical slasher movie scenarios, and then someone tries to pick them off one by one. I really enjoyed Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and I was excited for Final Girls because the premise sounds very interesting, and it just didn't do it for me, and I couldn't look past the Indian burial ground jokes. It just made me... It left such a bad taste in my mouth. Next is the biggest surprise for this year, and I have our 2 Spooky Bitches book club picks for the past 2 months, Confessions by Kanae Minato and The Changeling by Victor Laval. I knew that I was going to like these both going in. I didn't expect these to become potential favorites of the year. Confessions is a very interesting book that follows a woman who teaches an elementary school class. Her child has died recently. She reveals on the last day of school that she is retiring and that she knows that the child's murderer is in the classroom. And then we have The Changeling by Victor Laval, which follows a man who's trying to discover this dark secret about his family after his wife, who they both thought it was postpartum depression, but it's actually because the baby might be a like demon changeling thing, murders their baby. So he goes on this magical adventure across New York, and it gets so wild. Next is favorite new author, and this can be a debut author or a new-to-you author. I am picking Junji Ito. I really enjoy Gyo. I have been looking into their backlist, and I'm so excited from what I've seen, and I can't wait to read more. This was fantastic. Art was so fucked up. I loved it. This is going to be another one of my favorite books of the year. I think out of all of the authors that I read this year, Junji Ito is the one whose backlist I'm most excited to explore, so I would say that counts as like my new favorite author. Next, newest fictional crush. I don't get fictional crushes. Sorry. Newest favorite character. This was hard. I had to think about it, but I think I'm gonna go with Gideon from Gideon the Ninth. I also talked about this one in my Gemini video. Gideon is a very fun, kind of chaotic character in a place where everyone is being so serious and people are getting murdered. Gideon can always kind of crack a joke or bring the lightheartedness to a situation, which is kind of hard to do whenever there's like people being murdered and like bone monsters coming to kill you. Fantastic. Thought it was great. Gideon's a great character. Next, a book that made you cry. That's going to be May the Best Man Win by Z.R. Eller. This one follows two boys who are fighting for Homecoming King. And whenever I say they're fighting, I mean they're fighting. They're like, it's coming to blows. This was a wonderful exploration not only of an autistic point of view character, which I thought was fantastic representation, as well as trans rage. I did a full review video for it. That's the only one I've done this year. I'll link it for you to go check out. Would definitely recommend it. It made me cry quite a bit. Then, the opposite of that question, what's a book that made you happy? We have the opposite book. We have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, which follows a girl trying to become prom queen. This is also a queer book. It's sapphic. I thought the protagonist, Liz Lightly, was fantastic. It was very wholesome. It does get a little dark at some points. Like, there are some darker points in the story, but overall, it's a very happy, joyous book. My friend Audrey has also described these two as kind of like the antithesis of each other. May the Best Man Win is You Should See Me in a Crown's evil twin. Would recommend these two in tandem. I also talked about this one in my Gemini video. Just go watch the video. Next, we have the most beautiful book that you have bought or received. I have 3, and I can't choose between them. So we have Darling Rose Gold by Stephanie Roble. I don't know why I love this cover so much. I just do. Then we have The Ones We're Meant to Find. Have I quit talking about this cover yet? Because this cover. Also, I need to show you this book naked because I think this is what might push it over the top. Can you see the detailing on here? This is gorgeous. We have a gorgeous spine. But this was what really sold it for me. Also, the end pages. I can't with how pretty this book is. And then the third book is an arc, and this is The Inheritance of Orchidea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. Zoraida is a really good friend of mine, and it's just like such a champion for me and my channel. This one comes out 2 days before my birthday. It comes out on September 7th, and it's a fantasy novel that follows this family who gets an inheritance from a dead relative. Someone starts to pick them off one by one. There's magic, there's drama, there's family. I'm very excited to read it. And this arc, it's shiny, it's like a glossy cover, but can you see the foil? I just think this is one of the most stunning covers I've ever seen, and I can't wait to read it. Last question, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. I have so many books I need to read by the end of the year, so many videos planned, but the 2 that I'm focusing on reading the quickest are cheerleader books. I have The Good Girls by Claire Eliza Bartlett, and then We Can Only Save Ourselves by Allison Wisdom. I am saying that I want to read these 2 books quickly because I'm planning a cheerleader recommendations video, so keep an eye out for that soon. But these are both thrillers that deal with cheerleaders and murder, and this one deals with cults. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by hitting the thumbs up and subscribing and hitting that bell and all that good shit, as well as answering the comment question of the day. Comment question of the day, what's your most anticipated release for the back half of the year, and what's the best book you've read so far this year? And third, what's a book you need to finish by the end of the year? And if you don't have time, you don't have the spoons, you don't have an answer, or you don't want an answer, let me know you made it all the way until the end of the video by leaving me an emoji, preferably a yellow heart or a smiley face emoticon. All my social media links and all of the other things I mentioned will be downstairs in the description, so make sure you go check that out. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful, whatever it is, wherever you are. I will see you next time with another video. Thank you for watching. Okay, cool.